Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. A hometown victory celebration for the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs took a violent turn Wednesday as gunfire rang out in the crowd. Authorities say one person is dead, at least 20 others are injured. 8 of those victims had what were called immediate life-threatening injuries. Now, police say they've detained 3 people so far. Mike Valerio is in Kansas City and has more.
A celebration turned into a tragedy. At least 20 people were shot when gunfire rang out at the end of the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory rally on Wednesday.
Everybody started jumping the rails and pushing everybody over. We got inside and we thought that, okay, it's calm now. And about that time, people started running again.
Paul Contreras and his daughter Alyssa were among the estimated 1 million revelers gathered at the rally.
It all happened so fast. Everybody was kind of dispersing and going back to their cars. Probably a minute or so later, and you just hear pop, 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 pop.
As the chaos and confusion began to erupt around them, Contreras heard people shouting for help as a man ran by them.
He got close to me. I got the right angle on him, and I hit him from behind. And when I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because as I'm taking him down to the ground, I see the gun on the ground.
It's unclear if that man was one of the 3 people detained by police. Guns were found at the scene, but many questions remain unanswered.
We do not have a motive, but we are asking those who may potentially have any kind of information, a witness or video, to contact police.
In Kansas City, Missouri, I'm Mike Valerio.
Closer to home, authorities in central Nebraska looking for a Kearney man they say beat a woman until she was unconscious. Kearney police say officers responded to the assault call Wednesday morning. An ambulance transported the 37-year-old woman to the hospital with what were called serious injuries. Investigators say 37-year-old Justin Haydenfeld entered the home and assaulted the woman in front of her 2 young children. He then left, driving a black 2014 Chevy Silverado with a 9-county Nebraska farm license plate. You can see the full number on the screen. Police still actively searching for Haydenfeld. He's wanted for felony assault, strangulation, and burglary. An elderly Nebraska woman, meanwhile, who'd been serving time for the death of her husband, has been released from prison. 82-year-old Lavetta Langdon was paroled on Wednesday. The McCook native had been behind bars since 2021 when she was convicted of manslaughter related to the shooting death of her husband Larry. At the time, Langdon told authorities she'd been the victim of domestic violence for 3 decades and that she'd been assaulted that day. The person named in a defamation lawsuit filed by the former Kearney High girls basketball coach is asking a judge to throw out the case. Amber Garner filed a motion to dismiss in Buffalo County District Court on Tuesday. J.D. Carson accused her of slander and invasion of privacy as part of the lawsuit. The lawsuit's accusing Garner of telling someone in 2021 that Carson was engaged in an inappropriate relationship with one of his players. Carson resigned at the request of school officials in November. But in her motion to dismiss, Garner's arguing that Carson hasn't alleged any facts that support a lawsuit. A hearing on the motion is set for March 19th. Well, as we reported earlier this week, a Northeast Nebraska City Council facing concerns over what to do regarding a former employee who passed away earlier this year. Luke Stera has more from Madison.
After a long back and forth between city council members and family members of former utility superintendent Jim Lewis, the Madison City Council agreed to pay out Lewis's contract with the city. Now, Lewis was suspended without pay at a December 13th meeting between the city council members and later passed away in January. 2 of Lewis's daughters came forward in front of the city council on Wednesday night with a few things they wished the council to do, one of which was including paying Lewis's contract out in full from December 13th until his day of death in January, as well as a life insurance plan. The life insurance has been put on the back burner until the next city council meeting, but the council voted 2-1 in favor of paying out Lewis's remaining contract with the city until his day of death, with City Council member Paul Kellen voting no, and the 2 votes of yes coming from Rick Schomer and Steve Ainsworth. We'll have an entire overview of what happened here in Madison later on, but reporting for News Channel Nebraska, this is Luke Stara.
A new jail in Adams County will replace the existing jail and house more inmates, but it's behind schedule. Ryan Valenta spoke with the Adams County Sheriff in Hastings to get an update.
Due to delays, changes, and things of that nature, it has been delayed, but they're working on it. Things are coming along good, and hopefully they'll be able to get things completed as soon as possible.
Sheriff John Rust is vague in talking about another opening date for the new Adams County Jail, but rightfully so. The opening date has been pushed back multiple times, and now it'll still be at least another 2 months until the ribbon is cut. Here at the site of the new Adams County Jail, plenty still needs to be done before they're ready to open. The structure is complete. Now it's just the little details that remain unfinished. Fencing outside still waiting to be installed. Security checkpoints still being worked on. And inside, where I got a chance to check out the interior progress, most of the features are installed, or at least partially installed, to the new facility. It will house up to 158 male, female, and juvenile inmates.
At our current facility, we do not house females, so all female inmates have to be lodged on a contract with other counties.
The current jail is on the 3rd floor of the Adams County Court building, which was constructed in 1962 and significantly remodeled in 1997. An Adams County report from 2019 highlighted several problems with the current jail and proposed the need of a brand new facility. In 2020, voters passed a $38 million bond issue, and ground was broken in April of 2022. At least 2 years after construction began is when the jail is now expected to open, 6 months later than the initial projection.
Last I heard, they're hoping to have everything completed and possibly have a open house around April 17th, but that's changed several times, so I don't know how concrete that would be.
While the sheriff's office can't move just yet, Russ says they've been able to train new staff in the old building that will allow a smoother transition for them to the new jail after completion. Just over 5 years since the proposal of this new jail, the light can be seen at the end of the tunnel for everyone involved. Officials are still hopeful for that April 17th ribbon-cutting date. From the new site of the Adams County Jail in Hastings, Ryan Valenta with News Channel Nebraska.
Well, northern Nebraska getting another late season taste of winter over the next 2 days. Winter weather advisories have been issued for 22 counties in northern Nebraska through Friday morning. Forecasters say anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of snow could fall starting Thursday evening. The snowfall likely going to affect commuters both Thursday evening and Friday morning. Now, however much snow falls, it's not expected to stick around for long. Temperatures are forecast to get back up into the 50s next week. Even though it won't feel necessarily like spring in Nebraska over the next couple of days, we are entering the spring peak home buying and selling season. Home sales generally tick up in March and April, but it's usually a result of people starting to make their moves now. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down what you need to know if you're planning to be in the market this year.
The home buying season is already upon us, and experts say if you're in the market, don't wait around too long for better prices or rates.
It's always a difficult call in terms of timing. As a consumer, just be on the lookout. If a right home within the right budget shows up, maybe go for it.
Mortgage rates are down from their highs last fall, hovering around 6.6% since December, resulting in less uncertainty and improving affordability for home buyers. In fact, homeowner optimism is at its highest level since March of 2022, according to a survey by Fannie Mae.
This year, more inventory will be showing on the market. That's definitely good for consumers seeing more choices.
If you're planning to buy this spring, experts suggest building a home buying team consisting of an agent, lender, and even a title company, because each part is crucial in what can be a complicated multi-month process.
The home buying process is not a simple decision.
Agents also advise people to search for homes knowing what their conservative monthly payment is, making it easier to move other variables like price, location, or condition of a house in order to have the best chances to buy the home. The key, experts say, is be flexible and have your financial house ready to go.
You want to show that you have the financial capacity, and getting that mortgage approved letter certainly demonstrates the financial capacity to make the move.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Is your pharmacy out of your favorite generic drug? Well, you're not alone, and now federal regulators are looking into what's behind these shortages. The Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Health and Human Services are launching an inquiry. HHS says they plan to look at drug purchasing and wholesale companies to see if they're disrupting the supply chain. They say they want to hear from the public and have issued a request for information. The agencies are already teaming up with the Justice Department to see how corporate control of health care affects patients. A love certainly in the air this Valentine's week, and more couples are meeting on dating apps. That means it's important to protect yourself from online scammers. Just last summer, a Grand Island woman lost over $22,000 after being tricked by someone in a dating app. Jen Sullivan looks at ways to protect yourself from falling victim.
More couples are finding their partners online. According to Pew Research Center's most recent data, nearly half of Americans who were single and looking to date turned to online dating. But not everyone finds true love on the internet. For some, what they find is far from a fairy tale. We're talking about romance scams, where criminals adopt a fake identity to gain a victim's trust and later exploit them for money.
Romance scams have become an industrial scale operation.
Dr. Vahid Bezadon says these types of scams are becoming increasingly more sophisticated as technology advances, especially with the use of AI.
The fake persona can have a real-time video call with the victim.
The FTC says nearly 70,000 people reported a romance scam in 2022. These scams don't just break your heart, they can also break your bank account. The financial losses from those scams in 2022 hitting a staggering $1.3 billion.
Losing that sense of yourself is something that I find, personally just emotionally devastating.
Amy Nossinger with AARP says older Americans are easy targets for these scammers.
We know that the criminals go where the money is, and older adults do hold the majority of wealth in the United States.
Scammers often use common phrases like, "Someone close to me is sick. I can teach you how to invest. I need help with an important delivery," to scam you out of money. The FBI recommends researching the person's photo and profile. Beware if the person wants to quickly communicate directly instead of online, or if they have excuses to not meet in person. And never send money to anyone you haven't met in person. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
In sports, the Pender girls basketball team will be playing for a sub-district title on Thursday, but it will be hard to top the performance they turned in on Tuesday. Pendragon sophomore Madeline Dolliver shattered the record books, hitting 13 three-pointers in Pender's 97-25 win over Lions Decatur Northeast. Those 13 threes set the new all-class record in the state of Nebraska, while Dolliver's 45 points set a new school record. As a team, Pender hit 23 triples. That sets a new all-time mark in Nebraska for both girls and boys basketball. By comparison, those 23 three-pointers would represent the third highest single game total in the NBA this season. Stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com. Click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.